Well, Melinda, I never thought I'd say this sentence before, but let's talk as two Texas girlfriends here. You have people watching, people with children who
Mm.
are bracing for their children's schools to reopen. You are a mother. When we hear 18 months more before we see a vaccine, you will have parents who say, there's no way I can let my child go back to school. You will have
Mhm.
others who say, there's no way that I will go back to work in a cubicle with someone next to me without this vaccine. So how do we reopen?
Well, I think we have to reopen very, very slowly and in phases. So we have to listen to the science and listen to the disease modelers. I think as we follow those numbers and we start to reopen slowly, our governor's doing a phased plan, and we see whether people will follow that phase plan and we see if there's disease rise or if the disease stays flat or keeps going down, we will know, can we reopen more or do we need to tighten up? That type of thinking needs to exist in every state, region, and city around the United States.
That would require us to act in a unified way. So we know that even when it comes to vaccinating our children, something you've been very vocal about, there is a great divide. I read a quote from you once talking about women in third world countries standing in line to have their children vaccinated. And here we're seeing now, according to some reports, a decrease in people immunizing their children, A, because we're sheltered in place, B, because of the worry of going into doctors' offices. And that creates a whole new concern of what we could be exposing children. So I say that to ask you, how do we prepare for the future with all of these unknowns that are not unifying us on this topic?
Well, I think we have to look at what do we know that works? What has kept the world from dealing with smallpox? I mean, smallpox was a terrible scourge that used to exist in the United States. Vaccines. Vaccines is why we don't talk about smallpox for our children. Same thing, measles is even more infectious than coronavirus. Why don't we have measles at scale in the United States? It's vaccines. So we have to do what we know works. And I do think schools will still have to say what they've been saying. What is your vaccine form? Have you gotten your vaccines? I think we're going to need flexibility from doctors' offices of new ways to keep kids safe so they can get vaccinated and return to school. And I think we have to say what's right for the entire community here.
Wow.
And so I think I'm looking to great leaders in schools to make those decisions. I'm looking to governors to lead the way. And we need to have also some peer pressure. When you see somebody in the park who's not doing the right thing, a group of 10 kids, somebody needs to say something to them. And what I'm at least seeing in Seattle is people are saying something to those kids. Hey, for my own safety, please keep a distance from each other and from me and wear your mask.